What's going on, guys? In this video we are going to break down our analysis on GU. So guys, as the intro stated, we're going to be going through our analysis for GBPUSD for the coming weeks. We're just going to explain to you why we've analysed it the way we have and what we expect from it in the next few days, guys. So as you can see here, we are on the 4-hour time frame, but we actually started our analysis on the daily time frame. Now you can see this with a little bit more relevance. Now we're on the daily time frame, you can see where our areas has come from. So for anyone that doesn't know these areas here with the unlocked signs, all they are is essentially either gaps within the market or demand or supply zones which need to be tapped into. Therefore they will be locked into structure. Okay, so don't get too confused for those. You can have them as zones like this, or you can have them as lines, whatever you prefer. I just prefer lines, it keeps it a little bit cleaner. So as you can see, we actually broke down quite heavily on the daily time frame, and we hit our selling climax right down here, almost around the 1 point. I mean, we're not far off. 1 is literally here. So we stopped quite abruptly and we shifted up pretty quickly. Now, we do have a couple of zones that we're looking at. The first zone is here where price is right now. All right. The second zone is up here. Now, why have we picked these areas? So firstly, this area here is responsible for the initial breakdown of the low right here, right? So because we understand that this low was broken on the daily time frame, we want to look for the origin of the move. Now, we obviously have this POI here. We have a bigger POI at the top. But as far as I'm concerned, this supply area here is going to be our overall target for price this week. How it interacts with that is obviously going to dictate to us what direction we could expect for the future. But as you can see, we are in a supply area right here, which for now has held price back. Honestly, I would expect this area to give us maybe a slight pullback to then continue higher into here. Or if we continue higher, I expect it to be mitigated on the way back down. So apart from this area being the supply that broke the overall structural point, which is right here, so I can actually mark that up for you now. The other reason behind this is the fact that we have imbalance in this area, which is more than likely going to want to be fulfilled. We also have tapped into this and we've seen no significant breakdown yet. And overall, I think this is a bullish correction of an overall push down. Okay, now that would make complete sense because we are in a very bearish move. So until we have a major structure broken, for example, this protected high, we cannot expect price to play in any other direction other than back to the supply area and then continue to the downside, right? So as I stated, we've seen no true breakdowns yet, but we do have a couple of areas, as you can see, or 3 areas to be exact, of inefficiency on this run up. So if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame here, you can see that we have been pretty efficient on our pullback here. Now, for anybody that has been in any of my sessions at all would know that when we always talk about efficient price being what we want to see, but it also indicates to us that it's doing another thing, which is building liquidity, right? When you have efficient moves, price always continues to go higher in an upwards trend example, and it leaves all of the liquidity at the bottom. Meaning a lot of the time when we hit a given area, we will take that liquidity either in the form of a deep pullback or in the overall continuation move. So, for example, pushing down from one of our supply areas. Now, if we have a deep pullback before we hit this higher zone and we do not tap into the lower structure points, okay? So if we have a pullback from here and we do not tap into the lower structure point, so we don't break any of these lows, I would expect to look for buys up into this area, or at least to the top of the zone here that would be created if we have a reversal at this point. Like we stated earlier though, we don't expect deep pullback for this. We are looking more for a shallow pullback and then a continuation. That is how we're going to try and approach this pair for the coming week. Now, we have had a lot of buy pressure into here, meaning that the only points of inefficiency sit just below where price is right now. We have tapped into most of the key demand areas below. We are just looking for price to clear this area or come up and clear the highs. Now, like I stated earlier, we're in a very bearish trend. So price surpassing these highs is not that probable, but doesn't mean that it won't happen. So if we go down to the smaller time frame, I'll show you exactly what I'm thinking for the smaller time frame. So as you can see down here, guys, we actually have hit the 50% of this supply zone here, and we did break down somewhat, but we never broke the low. So we never broke this major low right here, right? Meaning that currently we are still maintaining this bullish movement. Now we haven't surpassed the high either, but I expect that to come today. So if we just clear this arrow off of here for now, so let's get this out of the way for now. Let's just put it on 4 hours, right? So from this point, if we don't see price break down again, I'd be looking to buy from this area, and if price wants to run deeper, possibly this area. Now again, this goes hand in hand with the structural points that we were talking about earlier, and as you can see, price has efficiently moved up until this point here. So it leaves a small gap that has not been tapped into, so price hasn't run back into here to continue. And it's done the same thing now on a smaller time frame. So you can see it's tapped into the low here. It's also tapped into this high. So what's left for price to tap into without breaking structure would be all of the areas within our range here that's been presented to us. So one area being here and one area being here. Both of these being order blocks or POIs in their own right. On a 2 hour time frame, that would be one standalone order block. And right here, that is the last down move before the upshift. So if we did see price pull back into these areas and show us smaller time frame breakdowns, I would be looking for longs to go for the highs, to take this high to aim for our higher POI. If we see these areas fail and price breaks down the structural points below, then we can expect to short it into the imbalances below. Remember, we're not looking for a deep pullback on this before. We would like to see price run higher first, but we have to keep our options open. As you all know, the markets do as they like, and with that in mind, we always have to have possibilities at the forefront of our mind, but always sticking with our overall bias until we have a true reason to follow a reversal. So guys, we are going to be looking at this on the smaller time frame for our daily trades, but as you can see, they pretty much correlate directly with the hour. It's not massively different, slightly more refined and slightly different looking in the sense of it will be more like that. But overall, as you can see, it sits pretty similarly with the bigger time frames. So guys, quick recap. We are looking for price to run to the higher supply area on the daily shift down to continue the overall bearish market movements. Remember guys, if these areas don't hold, then we could possibly be seeing a bullish reversal. But until these areas fail, they are our go-to, and that is what we have to follow. Overall trend direction mixed in with efficiency in price. Overall, I am going to be bearish once we hit these areas on GU. So guys, I hope this breakdown has helped you understand exactly why I've marked my chart up how I am. Remember, if you're not inside of the Discord already, link is in the description. We give out weekly analysis just like this so you guys can follow along. Make sure you do like this video and share the content if you've enjoyed it. And hopefully guys, I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.